Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are diving back into the world of tablets, and we can see that Samsung is back at it with a new refresh of an old favorite, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. But this isn't just a refresh now. In this video, let's go ahead and find out whether this is another light upgrade, which I'm pretty sure by now you are kind of suspecting, or whether this is a situation where Samsung actually has something new up its sleeve. Let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so Samsung decides to quietly drop another Galaxy Tab S6 Lite on us for a third time. This is the 2024 edition of this series, following the original one from 2020 and the 2022 refresh that I still have here, by the way. And guess what? If you are noticing a pattern here with these refreshes, you are definitely not alone. So far, they've been dropping them every 2 years, it seems. And it actually makes me wonder where the Galaxy Tab S6 model is supposed to sit, especially now that Samsung has almost everything figured out, and following kind of a fairly uniform pattern, right? Now we have the Galaxy Tab A series, which would be the budget Galaxy tablets. We have the FE series, which are the mid-range tablets, and the S9 flagship series. And then comes the S6 Lite series by itself, which then raises the question, is this budget? A mid-range? A combo of both? I'm actually getting confused, frankly. Now, let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think this is a mid-range or what? But I digress. Let's take a look at it. Physically, this new tablet is like the ghost of its predecessors, right? Frankly, if not for the fresh mint color that you see here, this mint color option, which by the way is pretty sweet. It's pretty nice. But anyway, in this specific case, if it weren't for this mint color, telling them apart compared to the previous iterations would be pretty much impossible. That said, you still do have your standard or the original colors available for this edition of the S6 Lite. The gray is still available, and so is the rose gold. So hey, at least Samsung is still consistent with that particular part, right? Now, as far as the build goes, we still have that very sturdy unibody aluminum frame. We have glass on the front here, and of course the back is aluminum as well. All of the usual suspects are right where you left them last time, meaning the power button, the volume rocker, the headphone jack, and yes, the headphone jack is still there. So the headphone jack, and of course the micro SD card slot is still there as well. USB Type-C port, which by the way is a 2.0 USB Type-C port. And by the way, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please make sure to hit both the like and the subscribe button there for more tech goodness like this one. But anyway, so now I want to talk display and audio really quick. What we have here is still that same 10.4 inches TFT display with a resolution of 1200 by 2000. So again, no changes there. It's decent for budget, slash mid-range tablet for this day and age. It does the job for watching movies, Netflix and games and all that good stuff, but don't expect it to blow your mind away a flagship tablet would. Now, personally, I've been using this particular tablet, this new one, for almost a week, and I see no difference on the display when compared to my Galaxy Tab S6 Lite here, the 2022 model. Now, as far as audio goes, we still have a dual speaker setup, which is, pretty nice because you have the sound coming from both sides of the tablet, and these speakers are tuned by AKG, of course, so very nice sound quality for, your Netflix binges or YouTube marathons and so much more. Again, no worries there. Now let's go ahead and talk performance and software here. Under the hood, there's a bit of a switch up, right? Samsung went from the Snapdragon that we had in the previous model or the previous iteration to their own Exynos chipset, right? So here we have an Exynos 1280, and yes, you could definitely feel the bump in CPU, but mostly in GPU performance. I did notice this while playing games. I even edited a video on here, just like I did with the previous one, and it definitely had, decent times, right? When compared to the 2022 model. Again, so slightly faster than the 2022 model, but still keep in mind that this is not meant for video editing or, this is not a flagship tablet. Now, many of the internal parts remain the same also. We still are rocking 4 gigs of RAM, and you do get 2 storage options, the 64 gigs and the 128 gigs of internal storage, both expandable at up to 1 terabyte, just like, again, it was the case, or it is the case, with all of the other Samsung tablets. Android 14 is loaded here out of the box, right? So Android 14 is running the show here. You have One UI 6.1. That's the skin that's sitting on top of that. So far in the past week, it's been pretty smooth and steady, right? But when you do push performance, you are definitely going to encounter stutters. I certainly have encountered stutters anytime I went a little bit too much with this, which again, this is not meant to be a super powerful tablet. But anyways, this should be getting updates at up to 3 years. I like to say 3 years simply because Samsung quietly dropped this, and I don't know whether, you know, the updates that we get on the flagship ones in terms of the amount of years is going to apply here, right? So I'm going to say 3 years of updates just to be on the safe side, right? I don't want to overshoot here. And of course, potentially 4 or 5 years, like it is the case with the newer devices that we get from Samsung, as you would imagine. Or to those of you familiar with the series, this tablet does support Samsung Dex, and this is, you know, combined to that extra power that was added to this new iteration, and all of that makes for a pretty nifty little machine, right? In my experience so far, it can handle its own during multitasking, but as I mentioned, don't push it. I've been able to multitask and increase productivity, but again, I'm gonna say it, compared to the 2022 model, it's not a drastic difference in performance, at least not in the past week, from what I've noticed, right? But certainly slightly better than that. You can multitask, and like I said, it does support Samsung Dex, which I should add, I don't like the new look of Samsung Dex here. It looks too close to the tablet look. It doesn't look like there was a major change, but it is Samsung Dex. You still do get quick access to the taskbar at the bottom there, and you can open multiple windows and do all of that good stuff. The Tab S6 Lite here also supports Samsung's S Pen, right? The pen here is not bringing anything particularly new when compared to the one from the previous iteration, but it certainly is super nice to have a stylus that you can use to, you know, jot down some notes, draw, or do other things. And in terms of value, I see very little competition when it comes down to any other brand or any other tablets out there that do come with a stylus that would offer the same value that you would get from here at that price point, right? Of course, if you go up a little bit, you know, with the money, this one ran me, I believe, $310 for the base 64 gigs that I have here. So not a lot of tablets out there compete at this level or would offer the caliber of, you know, performance, maybe not performance, I'm gonna say user experience, right? The user experience that you get from the Tab S6 Lite, whether it be this one, the one from 2 years ago, or the one prior to that. Not a lot of tablets offer that, especially with the support for Samsung Dex and just how versatile the S Pen can be. The S Pen is very, very versatile on this guy here. You could do a number of things with this tablet. Now let's go ahead and cover camera and battery. Once again, the same as it ever was. An 8 megapixel rear and a 5 megapixel front shooter here. It's not necessarily the best. It's not top notch, you know, so no Oscars given for photography here, right? But you still are going to be able to get through your Zoom calls without any issues. Anytime you are video calling grandma or your friends, or video conferencing, you know, coworkers and things like that, you definitely are going to be able to make it through without being, you know, a pixelated mess. But keep in mind that it's still not top of the line. 8 megapixel up front, 8 megapixel in the back, 5 up front here. As far as battery life goes, it's still hanging in there with that same 7040 milliamp, right? It's a fairly decent sized battery, which in my testing seems to be right about where the predecessors were. No fast charging here, so you would have to be content with that 15-watt charging. And by the way, that charging brick is no longer included, right? So you would have to buy one separately, and just make sure that you clear your calendar because charging takes a while here. Now, I'm just kidding. I love my Tab S6 Lite. But anyways, with all of this being said, should you upgrade to the 2024 Tab S6 Lite? Now, the answer is, if you have the 2022 model, you should probably skip this one. But if you're new to the tablets game and are rocking something older, or just something very budget that doesn't have a stylus, then the 2024 model might be a very nice introduction into the world of, you know, decent tablets with great stylus user experience. I generally would recommend this For those of you who, I recommend this to those of you who are looking to, experience what it is like to use an S Pen, because these things are amazing, right? This would be a nice introductory tablet to that type of experience. And the tablet itself is pretty decent. It's not necessarily reinventing the wheel or anything, but sometimes, you just need a wheel that rolls smoothly, right? In this case, something that is versatile, something that works. Plus, you get this mint green color, which is available only with the newer series, so not too shabby there. But anyways, I'm certainly hoping that this was informative. Let me know with any questions you may have in the comment section. Do you plan on picking up this guy here? Let me know your take. Please make sure to share, like the video, and of course, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.